Item Number SCP-112. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-112 is contained within the abandoned amusement park, designated Site. Site is to be staffed with a standard complement of 12 armed guards, dressed in designated amusetistic land garb to prevent civilian interference. SCP-112's power supply is housed within a standard Foundation prefab building with 2 high-security door locks and a standard staff of 6 security staff and 1 operator. Since all other rides in the site are intentionally disabled, civilian intervention is low. As the anomalous properties of SCP-112 occur regardless of its condition, only mandatory maintenance work is to be done on SCP-112. This also ensures that local civilians treat SCP-112 and its surroundings as abandoned and ignored. All tests involving SCP-112 must be conducted with a portable toilet nearby, as well as a small table with basic food and drink items. Description: SCP-112 is a steel sit-down roller coaster, formerly known as the Blue Steel Surfer. Built in SCP-112 was marketed as the crown jewel of the amusement park. Initial testing of the ride resulted in extremely negative experiences from testing staff. When these reports became public knowledge, the financial repercussions of the failure of the Steel Surfer resulted in the parent company of the amusement park going bankrupt. The property was abandoned and undisturbed until 1990, when a local gang broke into the park and reactivated the improperly disabled rides, SCP-112 included. When police attempted to arrest the members who were exiting SCP-112 after its inaugural ride, the riders began to, attracting local media attention. For more information, see Archive 112. Suspecting the ride had traits within its mandate, the Foundation purchased the park under the auspices of rebuilding the park as amusetistic land, in order to test any potential anomalous properties from the ride. When SCP-112 is started, the ride functions as expected until Point Alpha, its primary drop. When a car reaches Point Alpha, the train vanishes. After 3 minutes, the estimated time the train would normally take, the train rematerializes at Point Omega, 3 meters from the coaster's starting point. Human subjects riding SCP-112 have a drastically different experience compared to outside observations. The time frame between Point Alpha and Point Omega is massively extended, with subjective ride times ranging from 4 minutes to months. The properties of the ride also vary from person to person. Most subjects report elements on the ride that do not exist on the ride proper, like bat wings, cobra rolls, and inclined loops. Subjects do not have any sense that the rest of the world is alien or otherwise different. Only the ride experience is different. Upon exiting the ride, subjects typically experience feelings of confusion and ill health, depending on the subjective time they spend riding SCP-112. These feelings are based not on any physical maladies, but the subjective experience of dealing with a physical malady for an extended period of time. For example, a subject with a subjective ride time of 3 days may experience confusion that he had strong feelings of hunger for most of his ride, but at the end of the ride he was not hungry at all. Addendum A. Assorted Experiments. Experiment 112-34534. Date 0222. Subject D34534. D34534 was sent on SCP-112 at 2:42 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 2:43 p.m. Rematerialization at 2:46 p.m. Upon exiting SCP-112, D34534 quietly asked for an aspirin before passing out. Upon revival medication, D34534 reported a subjective ride time of 36 minutes with multiple loops and twists not found on SCP-112's architecture. Experiment 112-67564. Date 05-14. Subject D67564. D67564 was sent on SCP-112 at 1:30 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 1:31 p.m. Rematerialization at 1:34 p.m. D67564 reported a subjective write time of 4 minutes, which D67564 reported as enjoyable, with the exception of that part where the car jumps off the track and lands right before the loop. Experiment 112-5893. Date 06-1. Subject D5893. D5893 was sent on SCP-112 at 12:30 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 12:31 p.m. Rematerialization at 12:34 p.m. At the end of the ride, D5893 immediately ran to the table with consumables, wordlessly consuming everything he could grab onto, including the wrappers of previously consumed food objects. D5893 became violent when Foundation staff attempted to subdue him, even going so far as to. Upon capture and interviewing, D5893 remained confused and disoriented, continuously saying the phrases, "No food till the ride is over," "Let me sleep, let the spinning stop," and 152 lights. The Foundation believes that D5893's statement implied that this subjective ride time was approximately 5 months long, and during his trip he experienced 1 month's worth of malnutrition and exhaustion, despite no physical proof of those experiences found. Experiment 112-7556. Date 08-8. Subject D7556. One standard issue camera facing D7556. D7556 was sent on SCP-112 at 11:36 a.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 11:37 a.m. Rematerialization at 11:40 a.m. D7556 experienced symptoms similar but muted to those of D5893. During the interview, D7556 explained that his subjective time was 1 month and 6 days long. During his trip, he was unable to eat or sleep and suffered major headaches from SCP-112. D7556 reported experiencing every sort of roller coaster element currently in use, and a few believed to be conceptual. Camera footage lasting 3 minutes shows D7556 sobbing for the duration of the ride, with movement consistent with SCP-112's physical track. Addendum B. Rider Interviews. Experiment 112-35784-23512. Post-ride interview 1. Subject D35784. Interviewer Dr. Interview type Post-ride interview. How are you feeling, 35784?
I'm fine. It's just a roller coaster ride, dude. Maybe you have me confused with the other guy. You know the one that attacked when the ride was over?
I will, in time. Describe your experience on SCP-112, please.
What's there to say? Before I was sent to jail, I designed roller coasters. A couple of minutes too long of a ride. We always gotta worry about that. But the twists that thing has are damn good. A few of them I'm pretty sure I mocked up back in... It would have been a lot better if the Reader next to me wasn't acting like a damn fool.
D23512. What was he doing?
It's what he wasn't doing that pissed me off. He was slouched over so much that his restraints were tight, just facing forward. I think his mouth was open the entire time. If it were possible, I'd say he'd look like someone who had been crying on a jive for a few hours. I don't know. When we got to that slow point before the bank curve, I tried to snap my fingers in front of him. He just barely turned my face to me. And you know what happened afterwards?
Yes,
he punched you. Not really a punch, really. Slapped me, shaking me, trying to choke me. I didn't get the impression that he really wanted to kill me, just like, want to get an answer out of me. And that's what he said, actually. Shit, like, why didn't you look at me? Or, why did you not stop cheering the whole time? In a very hoarse voice. Was in mid-question with another when the guards introduced their rifles to the back of his head.
Experiment 112-35784 23512 Post-Ride Interview 2. Subject D23512. Interviewer Dr. Interview type Post-Ride Interview. Forward. This interview was conducted 3 weeks after riding on SCP-112 with D35784. D23512 is not willing to speak verbally since his ride. From time to time, he attempts to speak, but shows signs of discomfort and pain in doing so, stating that his throat is too sore to talk. While there are no medical issues with D23512, his experiences have obviously left him traumatized from his experience on SCP-112. Doctor estimates a full recovery is possible before monthly determinations, and that at such time he will be capable of estimating precisely how long his subjective ride was. This interview was conducted through written communication. Given his fixation on certain traits of the ride, this transcript has been edited for brevity.
Hello, 23512. How are you feeling? Still hurts, still dizzy. Loops and loops and spins, forever and ever. Why do you say your throat hurts? Screamed over and over. Guy wouldn't answer me. He never looked at me. I screamed and screamed till I couldn't scream anymore. Throat got better, and I screamed again. Never looked, never noticed, just kept cheering the hell of ups and downs and ups and side to side and side to side. I'm assuming you're talking about the person who went on the ride with you. 35784. Guy with the big glasses. Cheered and laughed, cheered and laughed. Every spin, every turn, every twist. Even when it got dark, I could hear him laughing and wooing. Couldn't sleep because of his laughing and cheering. Night and day, right and dark, always screaming, always giggling. How could he do that? He told me you were just sitting there, staring ahead. He said he tried to get your attention, but you never responded. I waved and shook him. He didn't move, didn't notice, just kept cheering. Tried to tune him out for a few months at a time, but he never noticed me. Kept cheering, kept screaming, kept laughing at me. I started to pee myself and slammed my head against the side till I bled. Just kept laughing and screaming. The loops and the spins and the deep dark dips that never ended, never stopped crushing. 23512. I am trying to help you, but acting insane won't help you in the least. There was no injury to your head at the end of the ride. I was there, I felt it. The warm on my head till it got cold and stopped spilling. It still itches. So, what happened at the end of the ride? You had a bit of an issue with 35784. He stopped laughing and giggling after all that time, and he just looks at me and smiles and says, nice ride, eh? And I shook him, and I tried to ask him why he wouldn't stop laughing and screaming. I didn't want to hurt him, really. I just wanted to know why. Why?
Repeats why 3 times until D23512 is disabled.